Hey everybody, it's Eli from The Verge. We are here at Apple Park. We're in the Steve Jobs Theater for the first time in many years to go hands-on with the new M2 powered MacBook Air. Apple's redesigned this laptop. The famous wedge shape is gone. It's more of a traditional slab shape. Comes in two fun new colors, Starlight and Midnight, in addition to silver and space gray. Honestly, this computer is beautiful to hold. It's 11 millimeters thin, weighs 2.7 pounds. It's incredibly thin and light in the hand. I might just be excited because we actually get to do a hands-on in person for the first time in so long, but I'm pretty sure this computer is incredibly nice to hold. Inside you got the M2 chip, which has an 8-core CPU and a 10-core GPU. Apple says that in things like Photoshop, it'll be 1.4 times faster than the outgoing M1 Air. Apple's also quoting an 18-hour battery life, but that's just video playback time, so we'll have to see what its actual battery life in real-world use is. Obviously, the M1 did great, lasted all day. I would expect nothing less from this M2 Air. Ports-wise, the big addition here is the MagSafe port on this side that lets you use both Thunderbolt ports here while you're charging the computer. On the other side, you've got a headphone jack, love that. It now supports high impedance headphones. The display is a little bit bigger at 13.6 inches. It's 500 nits of brightness now, supports P3 wide color gamut that gets you 1 billion colors. The display bezel is also a little bit reduced than before. That's getting out to the edges because you've got a notch at the top for the camera. The camera is 1080p. Apple says it's obviously a big improvement over the outgoing Air with twice the low light performance. The outgoing Air had a horrible camera, so any step up here is bound to seem huge. It looks beautiful here in the well-lit Steve Jobs Theater. We will have to see what it actually looks like when we get a review unit. The keyboard here is Apple's very familiar scissor key keyboard, full height switches, Touch ID on the side. Obviously, Apple makes great trackpads. You're also looking at 4 speakers and beam-forming mics inside this thing, which Apple says will greatly improve video conferencing quality. Very hard to tell in this noisy room full of all these people. We'll have to test that when we get a review unit. I gotta say, my favorite update to the new M2 MacBook Air, though, might be the charging situation. The base model comes with a 30-watt single-port USB-C charger, very familiar, but you can pay $20 more to upgrade to either a dual USB-C port 35-watt charger or a single-port 67-watt fast charger that'll take you from 0 to 50% in just 30 minutes. As far as pricing, the base model is $1199. That comes with 8 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of storage, and a lonely single USB-C port 30-watt charger. You can step up to the $1499 configuration that gets you 512 gigs of storage and that 35-watt dual USB-C charger. Obviously, you can also configure this thing online to your heart's desire, price it way up in the stratosphere, but those are the 2 stock configs. That is the M2 MacBook Air. That's not the only M2 computer in Apple's lineup. The 13-inch MacBook Pro has also been updated to the M2, and for some bizarre reason, it still has a touch bar. I don't know why, but it does.